Hello, this is Neil from iPaintGirls.com, and I was asked to do a video on the difference between the male and the female eye. Before we get into that though, for more of my free tutorials on drawing and digital painting and photo editing, go to iPaintGirls.com. For more free tutorials on writing such as novels and screenplays and short stories, go to masteredit.net. Both links are in the description of this video. Thank you. Right, so really there's not much difference between the male and female eye. Most of it's cosmetics, meaning the makeup they put on. That's the main difference between the male and female eye. The shapes are pretty much the same. Most of the time, they're pretty much the same. Um, you get this certain kind of sexy eye from guys here from Ashton Kutcher. Let me go ahead and get rid of this little thing if you can see the face so you know who it belongs to now. And also you should know that that was actually a guy's eye. His eyes are quite feminine. He has very thick, this is Zach Elron, I think his name is. He has really thick lashes and so forth. So the main difference then is the eyebrows. Now women usually actually pluck their eyebrows anyway. So that's again a cosmetic difference. But typically, even if they don't pluck them, women do have less bushier eyebrows than men. The other thing is that they have thicker eyelashes typically than men, thicker and longer. The other only real difference is the shape of, I guess, how the eyebrow is to the eye in relation to the eye. With guys, like I say, because you have that thicker eyebrow, you usually don't get this nice curve you get with the female here. You get this nice curve here, but also it's a lot of that's cosmetic from actually plucking the eyebrows. The other thing is that some guys, like Tom Cruise and so forth, they have the very low eyebrow here. You'll notice a lot of good-looking guys actually have this low eyebrow that where the eyebrow almost touches the eye in this section here. And then their eye actually rolls into their eyelid. So you have this line here is your eyelid crease. So this is where your eye goes back, around, and when you close your eye, your lid comes out. So when you open your eye, your lid folds back into this layer here, into that fold. Some guys, it's actually right there and connected to the eye itself. That is, it's not above the eye, and you do get that with a lot of good-looking guys. So that could be one difference you can draw in your male eyes versus female eyes. Lastly, before we start drawing, there's one other difference you might want to take note of with the female and male eye. Depending on the angle and how open the eye is, you'll get this line here and here that match, and then this is almost straight and that comes up. It's the basic shape of a sexy female eye that you'll notice a lot. Right, so let's go ahead and begin drawing. A lot of people ask what brushes I use. If you want my brushes, all the brushes I use like the brushes you see right here that I use on a standard basis, then just download any of my paid for tutorials and my brushes come with it at iPaintGirls.com. Right, this is my typical go-to pen ink. This is my typical go-to sketch brush. It'll either be this size or size 3. The settings on the brushes are the same. I'll just really quickly show you what those settings are. And so under Shape Dynamics, I have pen pressure set. This is basically your opacity. So Shape Dynamics, how thick or small it is. Minimum diameter, pen pressure. On Transfer, also called opacity, depending on what Photoshop you're using, I also set that to pen pressure. And then I have a check for noise. Default smoothing is already on. Okay, so when I draw a female eye, to really get that kind of sexy look, I usually start out with 2 lines like this. And then these lines connect up here, and then more of a straight line here. That's like the typical shape. Now, of course, the shape is altered a lot, and I'll show you the alterations, but that's the way to kind of look at it as you're drawing it. And I think it'll help you when you're drawing the female eye. Oops, that don't come down here like this. Come with this shape here. And then finally, pretty much straight right there. You'll know that most of the eye is always going to be covered, or a lot of the eye will be covered. So you're not going to see the whole eyeball unless it's an extreme expression. So unless it's something like extreme happiness or anger, you're not going to see the whole eye. And even if I were to start a guy's eye off like this, all this pretty much stays the same. I just want to show that indeed it is very much cosmetic. That is, the difference between the male and female eye is mostly cosmetic. And I have this on darken for some reason. If you ever wonder why your brush isn't painting when you know it should be, always check up there and make sure the mode's not set to something weird. Now I'm going to put the highlight in here. Okay, so I can actually start off an eye like this, and it can be a male or female. I can turn it to a male or female eye, it doesn't matter. And so to prove that most of the difference between a male and female eye is indeed cosmetic, I'm going to go ahead and leave this quite generic, so it can be either or right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it into both. So I'm going to take that now, I'll put another layer on top of it, and first I'll turn it to a male eye. So to turn it to male eye, I'm going to have this low, bushier eyebrow. I'm going to do more of an eyebrow like Ashton Kutcher, let's say. So it's going to have an overall shape something like this. Just going to kind of quickly color it in. I can't spend too much time going into too much detail, otherwise I'll run out of time, and unfortunately YouTube is not giving me my ability to make long videos back yet, because one of my older videos I forgot all about had music in the background, and that music was copyrighted, and so they took my rights away for a while. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this line here. This is the eyelid line, and I am going to do like Ashton Kutcher as well on that. I'm going to kind of shade some of this in there. I'm going to bring his eyelid like this to where it comes low. We're going to kind of shade, darken all this in a bit. Notice I'm doing all this on a different layer than the base eye. I could draw, maybe get my size 3. Settings are the same on this brush, it's just a size 3. Maybe add just a couple eyelashes. When they get to the middle, they get shorter because they're coming straight at you. As they get further away on the edges, they look a little bit longer because now you're seeing the full length of the lash. And I'll just kind of put a few like that. So now we have a male eye. However, if I want to turn it to female eye, it'd be quite simple. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for a sec. Alright, so let's see if I can use this remaining time to draw. I dropped my pen thing on the ground, I think. There it goes. Sorry about that. Turn this into a female eye now. Okay. First thing is I'm going to put more makeup on. So I'm going to give thicker lash here. I'm going to go back to this brush now. All this would have been easier with my pencil brush. I should have been using my ink brush, but that's okay. So right away, just putting the extra makeup on makes a big difference. I'm going to have the eyelid fold come up here, and then we'll kind of add a little bit of shading to it on this side. Gets less shade on that side. Of course, we're going to add the lashes, thicker, fuller lashes for the female. I really probably should be using, sorry about that, it's my phone, size 3 brush for this maybe, I don't know, but I'll just use this size. Again, keep in mind this is a quick sketch, I'm not going for like total realism here or anything. Finally, then it's just a matter of doing the eyebrow. So I'll give it kind of a basic shape like this, and just kind of fill that in with some color. Not gonna worry about doing individual hairs or anything like that. And then finally, I'll just do some quick shading, and it'll be like so. And actually, I could even, since I'm in Photoshop, oops, let me step forward again. I could just use this brush here and quickly add some shading. Right, maybe just a little bit of shading on that bottom part. Take my eraser brush and kind of just shape that a little bit more. Okay. Right, so now we have that same base shape, and I've turned it into a male and female eye. And so going back to the base shape here, generic shape, you add on the feministic characteristics, and you have a female eye. Oops. You add the male characteristics, and you have a male eye. You can even get more masculine with the eye by just slightly changing its shape a little bit, by pulling this line down a little bit more. So you can have this, go back to the right layer, you can have this line here coming down a little bit further like this. And if I do that, then I'm going to obviously want to erase some of this here, pull the eyebrow down a little bit, and I might even have to erase some of the base shape because I want it to be squinting a little bit. And this is more just you know, a facial expression more than anything else, but I probably wouldn't want to have that much dark. I probably even get thinner with a lot of the lines. We get the idea. And so a little bit of shadow. Okay, so anyway, and of course the overall context really makes a difference too. That is, the face it appears on will make a big difference. When you see an eye out of context, like this one here, it doesn't say a whole lot. It looks quite feminine to me, but we know it belongs to a male when you see it in context. So context makes a big difference as well. But anyway, so there's the masculine eye and the female eye. And oops, I accidentally erased part of the base, so now the female eye looks a bit weird. I could just simply fix that really quick by going in and refilling that back in. But hopefully that kind of answers the question of the difference between the male and female eye. There's not a lot of differences. Again, the base shape could be a little different too. So that was just a generic base shape. I just want to show how similar the eyes are that you really could turn them into either one. But for a male eye, you could go with more of a base shape like this, where this side's a little bit bigger than this side, and then come and pull this, and it has more of a shape like this, let's say. Maybe not even that long. Oops. Damn it, I need to really change that back. And so you'd have something more like that, let's say, for its base shape. And then you'd have this coming in here, you have the eye fold. And then you have something more like Tom Cruise kind of eye. You can also have that same kind of more oval base shape for a female eye as well, if you wanted to. Just keep in mind that this bottom lid is usually quite straight. The bottom lid isn't usually like this. That's not usually the shape of an eye. You typically have your top lid, this little line, and then it kind of almost goes straight to meet over here. That's like the shape. But sometimes you do have it to where it kind of comes down. It just depends on the person. Some people have more slanted eyes. So like, let's say that was a normal eye. You have some people's eyes that would come more like that. Obviously not quite that bad, but it would be kind of more up here. And then it comes down and kind of like this. And this is kind of how Angelina Jolie's eyes are. They're quite exotic. And makeup, and so forth. So anyway, you get the idea. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let me know if this helps you when drawing the difference between male and female eyes, especially the person that requested it. Let me know if you've watched this. Leave a comment in the video whether it helped you or not. Any other requests you might have, feel free to leave the request in the comment section. So go ahead and leave a comment to this video and request something you'd like to see me do, whether it's a kitty cat or whatever you want me to do, whatever you want, a cartoon character, whatever. Just make any requests that you want to see and learn how to draw or the difference between. I am still working on the tattoo course. It's going to be quite long, and it's only going to be like $20 or something like that, and it's going to probably be several hours long, but it'll teach you everything you need to know about tattooing and the mistakes not to make. The mistakes I made when I was first learning and apprenticing and so forth. It'll basically be like you're getting your apprenticeship, and probably even better because there's just so many things that you don't learn when you're apprenticing, and I wish they would teach, and they should teach. So yeah, there's that coming, and also another course is coming on faces. So it's going to be all about faces. It's all about heads, faces, and be more detailed than I've ever gone in all my free videos put together. So even if you go on my channel and find all my free videos that are directly related to drawing the face and the head, this will go in so much more detail, and hair, and it's going to go more detail in any of the videos, and also with hands and feet. It's just going to be a tremendous amount of information, just like going and taking a college course or something. So look forward to that. That's coming soon too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all later.